And we are live. Hey everybody, how you doing? Kevin Oak1 here. I want to take a minute and welcome you to this special Springboard training. We're going to be kicking this off and going through some stuff that you're definitely going to need to know. One thing that you're going to notice is below this video, if you're watching it from the back office, which is where you should be, below this video you see download the Springboard presentation. Click on that, and that'll take you over to a PDF so you can kind of follow along with some of the examples we're going to be showing, and we are give you a second to do that, and we will get underway. So click on that link, open up in a new window, download that document, or just have it ready for you so you can toggle on over to your new screen and see it, and we will be good to go. All right, great. All right, so I guess we can get this kicked off. Hitesh. Mr. Hitesh.
Yes, sir. I'm here, and as usual, pretty excited about what we have tonight. Obviously, today we get to unveil the Springboard, which has been the subject of a lot of interest for a long time, as it should be. So let's walk through this, and what we're going to do is the PDF that you have below. I'm actually going to open up a copy of that PDF on the screen so you guys can follow along. We'll explain it very quickly. Then we're going to show it to you live, and then we're going to walk you through the process of how you get to use it, and then we have a little surprise for you guys. There is a functionality of Springboard that we never mentioned, specifically because it's kind of a nice thing to always have something new to talk about. So I'm going to put on my screen share, and we are going to go through this PDF together, and then we will walk through all the other wonderful things as well. Okay? So here we are. This is the Springboard service, and we will go through this very quickly. It's super short, very to the point. It explains very quickly how the Springboard works, what the functionality is. Okay, it's designed to be a revolutionary, and every company has to say what they have is revolutionary. I mean, if we were selling you water, we would say we have revolutionary water in revolutionary packaging at a revolutionary price.
And
so
we would if we were.
But Springboard is a pretty awesome e-commerce management service. The way it works is straightforward. We go ahead and research some items. We have an awesome team of people who negotiate these the items with the manufacturers on the pricing and how much quantity we can bring in and so on. These items can be sold on multiple platforms. You can sell them on Amazon, on eBay, on Google Shopping Network, on Facebook, and Infinii has its own marketplace, which we will touch upon just a little bit in a short time. Now, I want to make sure that as you're watching this, hopefully you've had the time to actually begin going through the training videos. If you're a Prime member, you already have access just in Prime alone to Amazon, eBay, Google Shopping Network, and how you sell on those three major platforms. If you're a Surge member, you will momentarily, very soon actually have access to additional e-commerce platforms and selling using Facebook and selling using Amazon's PPC and so on and so forth. So you have lots of stuff there. And finally, if you're an Excel member, you also have training on how to use Amazon's FBA program for your own personal, private labeled products that you are the only one selling. Nobody else is allowed to compete with you on it. And how to basically brand it to a huge level, take it, basically create seven-figure businesses out of it. If you haven't had the chance to do so, take your time tonight and go through it after this presentation, because you can go through it very quickly. The videos are very to the point and very short, but they cover all that you need to know right away. And then we have additional resources available for you, including PDFs that walk you through more details. Okay? So here's how we get really low prices. It's the same way that anybody gets low prices. We go to these manufacturers, and discuss things with them, and we try and get bulk purchases in, which gives us the bulk price with them. Now, there are a few hang-ups here why other people can't usually do this. For most of these companies, you need a storefront. You need a physical location. They require that you order a ton of it together and so on. So you have a price and a question of how much money you are willing to put in. You also have the issue of, do you have a storefront and do you have your own stores? So we are able to resolve all those issues, and that's where we can get the bulk price with them. Partners and customers in this case can basically purchase the products and prices they would like to list those items for. So you will go in, you will define your price, how much do you want to sell that item for, and this will become very clear when you see this live in a few seconds here. We want to make it very clear the Springboard program does not charge you for and does not drive traffic for you or sales for you. the item goes on Amazon or goes on eBay or goes on the Google Shopping Network, the job of actually completing the sale and sending the product to the customer is the sales process that is handled by the e-commerce platform that you are using. Okay, so we hope it becomes very clear in your mind what parts are our responsibility, which is acquiring products, bringing in products, warehousing them, and shipping them out to the e-commerce platforms, and what part is actually the fulfillment of sale is actually done at the e-commerce platform. You need to make sure you understand the distinction there. So let's give you a quick example and how this works. So let's say you have Mark. He's a guy who purchases 5 laptop bags from SpringBoard. They cost $12 each, and they are selling on Amazon for $39 each. Okay. Now, since we have negotiated a good price, he's able to come in and he's able to purchase this product from us. He pays a shipping and management fee. In this case, all 5 combined cost him $3.25 for our management costs of the warehouse and so on. Obviously, you can imagine that is not very high at all. We're not looking to profit from this. This is just to cover the basic costs of doing this. Just basically actually just the food and drink of the warehouse workers. We don't pay anybody anything. I'm kidding, we obviously pay them. The total for all the 5 bags comes to basically $3.25 in management fee, $60 for purchasing the product, and when the product sells, you will have a cost of 3%, 2.5%, or 2% depending on your level of the customer platform that you are on in Infinii. Okay, so in this particular scenario, you have Mark. Since he is an Excel user, he's paying 2% in fee, which means he will pay 78 cents as his cost for using the SpringBoard, for using the whole system that Infinii provides him with, which, as you can imagine, is ridiculously cheap. And this is also what gets converted into business volume for you. Okay, so now you have Mark's products that are now sent to Amazon. Amazon handles all of the stuff that they handle, and Amazon is going to charge their own fee to Mark. So they're going to charge Mark, in this case, $9.30 per sale. Okay, this has nothing to do with us. It's Amazon's own fee. In this case, we're going to assume that Mark only sold 3 out of the 5 bags. Now that is how e-commerce works. Okay, you're not always going to sell 100% of the products that you list. That is just how it works. So you have to plan on that, and you have to work with that assumption in your mind. Do not come in thinking, I'm going to list 20, I'm going to sell all 20, and I'm going to make insane money on it. In rare cases, you might even lose money on your sales. By and large, usually you will be profitable, and usually you will sell a pretty significant majority of the products that you're listing. Okay, but it's a real business. It functions like a real business. You make money on the retail sales. All of that needs to be super clear. I think we've been super clear about that since the beginning. We're just clarifying it once more. Now, in this case, Mark has only sold 3 out of his 5 bags. He has generated $117 in sales, right? Because he sold 3 for 39 bucks each. His total costs so far are $90.44. He spent $60 on the product itself. Remember, he bought 5 for $12 each. So he spent $50 on the costs. Plus, he paid the shipping and management fee, which was $3.25. And he has paid Amazon fees, which are $27.90. And then the SpringBoard fees, which are $2.34. All in all, he has paid $93.49 in total costs at the end of the day, and he's basically net $26.56 in profit, and he still has 2 laptop bags left. Now remember, the next 2 laptop bags are basically going to be all profit minus the Amazon fees. So when he sells the next 2 products, he's going to make his nearly $30. Those basically become profit for him. So if he sells the remaining 2, not when, he's going to generate an additional $60 in profit. Okay, so you see that if you have good pricing and you have a good product picked out, you don't need to sell up 100% of your product to be able to generate a profit. Okay, and here's how the BD works.
Real quick, everyone who's watching, do me a favor, open up the SpringBoard PDF, and follow along with what page we're on, because right now Google Hangout, from what I'm getting, is toggling back and forth. It's not always showing the page that you're on, Hitesh. So it's very important for everybody to open this up on another screen as well and follow along with what's being said on your own PDF because obviously Google Hangouts aren't perfect. So if you have that issue, for some of you that do, just follow along on your own PDF as we go through this. You should be reading that anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll have another training after this.
We're on page.
So.
Yes. All right. So we're on page 5. This is the last page, and we're about that.
Hitesh, I think would it also be fair to say that, because Mark did get a very, very good price on this bag, that as long as Mark was willing to be patient, eventually with all the different channels we have for him, it would be safe to say that he will be able to get rid of those at one stage or another.
Yeah, at some point they should, and we'll talk about that. Many times your products, when you're listing them, will kind of compound in the sense that you list 20 products in a month, and 10 of them sell, but the other 10 are now waiting the second month. And you list 20 more products the second month. Now you have 30 products up, and maybe 15 will sell this time. And that's kind of how your business grows as well. So it's something that you will get used to. If you're not used to e-commerce, if you're not used to running a business, you'll get used to it very quickly. You will probably see sales happen over time on a lot of these products. In some cases, these products will sell out within 5-6 days. In other cases, it will take a while. I'll give you one example in the category of, let's say, children's toys. Right now it's a hot thing. People are buying those all the time. On the other hand, when you have some other seasons, let's say Valentine's Day was coming around, you're probably not going to be selling a lot of the children's stuff that you put up there during Christmas season. So a lot of it is seasonal as well, and if you just get the right products, that's one of the things we try to do, is make sure we have the right products available for you. Okay, but essentially, to summarize what has happened so far, Mark came in, he bought his laptop bags, he put up the laptop bags on Amazon, he defined his price on there, we went and did the part of bringing it in, warehousing it, and we listed it for him on Amazon based on his parameters. When the products sell, he makes some money on it. Okay, so that's function number 1 of SpringBoard, and let me show you this function and how it works in real life so you can see it play out. So I'm going to pause the screen share for a moment, and we're going to start it again just to make sure that everybody gets to see the screen. Okay, so far, is everybody able to follow along? If you can, just nod your head and raise your arm. We can't see it, but we're going to assume that you all did that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the second piece of SpringBoard, and let me show you how that works. Now, I'm showing you a limited version of this. Obviously, we don't want on this Hangout to show all the products, neither do we want to show all the images of the products right away. But these are real products from SpringBoard. I'm going to show you the functionality of it. So, Kevin, can you confirm that you're able to see the screen?
I'm able to see the screen, yes.
Wonderful. All you had to say was affirmative, but I'll take the longer version. So you have this right here declares that as an Excel member, management fee for 60 products is already covered in my subscription. We'll explain this in a little bit more detail in a second. But here we have a bunch of products. Okay, this is telling me that this product is currently retailing for $18.99, and the cost per unit is $9, and the expected profit, if it sells on Amazon at this pricing, that will be basically $1.87. Okay, so let's walk through the process of actually purchasing this product. Now, all of these products have very strict criteria, and they require that the person selling them actually has licenses with them, is approved to be a reseller, and so on. So you click on buy this product, and now the system tells you how many products would you like to buy, right? How many units do you want to buy? Now, in my case, I have used up almost all of mine. I only have 1 unit left to purchase, so I will put 1, and I have 2 options. I can either have the product shipped to me, and then I can list it and sell it however I want, which would be this option. It's going to ask you, are you a licensed reseller for this item? And you can tell us which state you're licensed in and what your license number is. And I'm assuming many of you will not be qualified for this and would not really even care to go through that process. The other section is ship, manage, and sell this product for me, which means ship the product for me to Amazon and let the management and the sales process be handled over there. Now you have to define the parameters for this, which is primarily what is going to be the price that you're going to set this on. And in this case, these are products that are already selling on Amazon, so we don't actually go out and create a listing for you. We don't do any of that stuff because they are already selling on Amazon. We're going to an existing listing, and we're working with that. Now, clearly, people who have the most competitive price are going to sell best, right? So you always want to try to be as close to the minimum price possible, but you cannot go below this particular price. So if you're going to put $18.99 over here, it's going to show us what our cost is today, which is $9.35. And I can now purchase the product and submit it into the system. Now, the way you purchase a product is not with your credit card and so on. You purchase it using credits in the system. It's very, very important that we do that. I'll explain the whole reason behind it. If you were to purchase a product and then you decided, let's say half an hour later, you continue your research and you find a better product, you can always cancel this product and purchase a new one instead. Okay? So until the time that we actually order the product for you and the product actually comes in from the manufacturer, you can cancel this particular product at any time. Okay? This is one of the safeguards you have in this entire process. So you can purchase credits. If you don't have enough, it's going to show you right here, get more credits. You go on this page, you can purchase some credits in the system, and now you use those credits to purchase your items. And you can cancel those items until we have already brought them in for you from the manufacturer. Until that time, you can cancel it, and you can apply this towards a different product if you want. Okay? Now, that's one type of product. There is a second type of product that you have in the SpringBoard, which is what we call a drop shipping product. In this case, we are actually listing the product, and we are basically having it be drop shipped directly from the manufacturer. Now, those are a little bit rarer in some cases, and not as many people will be getting on them because they are not buy 200 units or buy 600 units or something like that. It's rather only 1 or 2 units available in that dropship setting. In those cases, the safeguard is even stronger. In those cases, when you buy the product and you list the product, even if your product doesn't sell for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you just want to cancel that and move on to a different product, you can actually do that. You can cancel that product and move on to another one until the product actually sells. So it's a second type of safeguard that is much stronger, but it's only available on dropship items. Now there's a third and final functionality. By the way, John, can you give me some feedback? Is everything clear so far? Because John is not an Amazon seller, he's not an eBay seller, so hopefully you can give me some feedback. Is everything clear so far?
Everything's very clear for me.
Okay, wonderful. So John is kind of our barometer. We use him to figure out whether or not we are clear about the stuff. So I'm going to assume everything is clear. If it's not clear, that's okay. You can ask questions and we'll clarify it more. Read the PDF again, and we have other resources as well. Now there's a third type of product which is not visible here. Okay, it's not visible because it's a special type of product. And this is something that we did not announce and talk about before because it is something that is really, really awesome, especially for our international members. So as you guys know, we've always talked about how the SpringBoard is going to be the great equalizer for us, for members who do not have accounts to sell with or are international, where it's very difficult for them to manage the whole process of importing products and listing products and so on. It's designed to do that. So for those members, especially for those of you who are international, you have access to cheap products, but you can't get them to the US and sell. Well, we provide you with the warehousing for it. So what you would do is actually connect with us, and you would say, I have this item that I want to sell. I don't have all the details, but I know what my cost is, I know what it's selling for, and I would like to send this to US and have this be sold on Amazon. So what we would do in that case is one of our warehousing managers will work with you. You will send the product to our warehouse. So you will select the product, you will purchase the product, you will send it into our warehouse. We will take care of the warehousing and sending it to Amazon. You can create the listing and you can do the price management exactly the same way as somebody in the US would do. As somebody with their own account does, you can do the exact same thing as them, and the product will be listed for you. Now this applies to anybody who has gone through the Excel training so far. You've already seen that you can bring in your private label products, you can bring in multiple products like that, and these are your own individual products. They're not even in the SpringBoard Springboard. They're not visible to other people. This is your own thing. Okay, it's awesome, and it's very important for you to be able to do that, because that develops an individual business for you, and it is still being done with the Amazon FBA system, which makes your life a lot easier, where they are handling the process of getting the product to the customer instead of you having to do it. Okay, now in addition to your ability to purchase products in Springboard directly as Prime Search and Excel members, you're also able to submit up to 50 products a month using the warehousing system, or if you're a Prime member, 100 products a month if you are a Search member, and 200 products a month if you are an Excel member. That means if you're an Excel member, you go through the training, you acquire some products that are cheap that you want to sell, you are able to buy those products, ship them into our warehousing, and we get it out for you, and we list it up on Amazon. You create the listing, you give us the prices and so on, just like anybody else. It'll take you about 5 to 10 minutes to do so. And then when the product sells, Amazon will fulfill the item sale as well. So you will be able to do the process exactly the same way as somebody in the US, as somebody who is able to import things and do this themselves. So it kind of changes the game a little bit for everybody, and hopefully this is a very pleasant surprise for many of the people who I know have been wanting something like that, and you'll be able to work with it and start generating big businesses off of that.
Hitesh, I'd just like to comment on that if you don't mind.
Yes, of course.
Again, this is just a truly remarkable concept and incredible development that you're being modest about. And I'm not trying to blow sunshine up your skirt, but I know, and in fact, I don't even think you wear a skirt. But we've had so many members, and so many new members, new Infinii members, really asking an awful lot about in-depth training, Amazon and eBay training. And obviously, we're certainly not discouraging you from doing that. We're going to be encouraging you from building a very robust e-commerce business for yourself. But this ability to take advantage of Springboard in this particular way, friends that are in Indonesia or in Hong Kong or in Malaysia or the Philippines, where they have some manufacturing, and they can source. Sometimes they have friends that work for manufacturing facilities or represent facilities, and they're able to get absolutely incredible pricing, bring that over, and have us move that for them. I mean, that is truly a game-changing opportunity for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the next logical step, let me just address the very next logical step from this. The next logical step is, how would you like to bring in your products, and as long as there is demand for it, have those products be made visible for other users in the Springboard system, allowing other people to basically, in a way, crowdsource the product's price for you. So you negotiate and research the deal, you bring the product, in which case we basically serve as a transactional platform for you. You are providing this product to all of these Amazon sellers who are in our system, and eBay sellers in our system, and Bonanza sellers in our system, and so on. And they decide, oh, we like this product, let's go into this. And that also eliminates the costing issue in many ways from you. That next logical step is what we call Infinii vendors. And in the Infinii vendors program, you're able to become a vendor, or you're able to refer a vendor. And every single time a product referred by your vendor sells, or a product that you brought in yourself, every single time that product sells, that also generates some business volume in the system. Okay, now that vendors program is what is coming out in the first quarter of 2016. Our warehousing is available at the moment, so you will actually be able to connect with us and work with us on that directly. In the Springboard products are also available. You're able to purchase those products and start working with those directly. As you can see, there's a very large variety here. The product prices range from a few dollars, and the units range from a few units to hundreds of units. And the product prices ranges from a few dollars to tens of dollars, in some cases a few $100s as well. So you have a lot of different capabilities there on what suits you, on what is your level, and what kind of products appeal to you to sell. So again, just to recap very quickly how this works, we have products that we show you over here. You're able to purchase these products from us and go ahead and list them on Amazon and have us list them on Amazon on your behalf, but you set the parameters. Or you are able to take these products and have them shipped to yourself as long as you're a licensed reseller. Or you can submit your own products that you are sourcing yourself into our warehousing channels, into our warehousing systems, so they can be routed over to Amazon on your behalf. That is already live. You'll be able to start that process immediately, and we'll walk you through that momentarily. And all in all, it makes your life way easier. Even if you're international, even if you have certain restrictions, you will be able to take care of that and work it the exact same way as somebody in the US with a lot of cash flow would be able to do. And it just essentially makes the entire e-commerce process a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot more focused for you. Okay. Now, let's talk about how you can initiate this process and how you can actually get access to these things. Obviously, when you log into your system, you will see the images here. You will see how many of the units have already been taken. So if this says 6 units, 4 have been taken, you can get 2 more, and so on. So here is the process that you need to do. If you go to your Prime membership, to your Prime training, you will see a big giant section right here named Using the Springboard. On this page at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, you're going to find 3 documents. They're basically an NDA and a non-circumvent that you have to sign to make sure, so that we can make sure that you're not going to go out there, you're not going to publicize these items, you're not going to share these items with other people, you're not going to try and profit off of these items by selling them to other people as a corp or something like that. We're just basically covering everybody's bases to make sure that our customers who are participating in this are safe, are not being competed against, and don't have a problem there. Now, of course, vast majority of people would not be able to compete even if they wanted to, since it requires pretty significant upfront costs, investments, and staff to make this happen. At the same time, you will also find a disclosure statement. Basically is you going through the training and making sure that you understand how e-commerce works, how the process works, that this is not us saying, oh, guaranteed money is going to fall out of the sky, and that's always nonsense. You should know that by now. But this is based on sales happening on Amazon and eBay. You get to decide how much of the product you want to sell, what is the pricing that you want to set for it, and which e-commerce platform you want to work with. You get to decide if you're going to select your own products, that you will go through the Excel training, research your own products, and bring those products in. You can do that. Or you can use the products we have already researched on your behalf, and you can use those. End of the day, those are all your choices. Those are the different things that you can do. And it essentially removes all of the issues and the concerns and so on. So,
and one more thing, when you guys go there, we're going to have another video, not of really a lengthy Google Hangout. This is more of a training so you guys can understand this stuff and what's happening, so so you understand what's going on. You'll have some training right there that's going to go over all this stuff for you as well. Will be uploaded for you at that time. So it'll be a lot. Anyone who missed this, they don't really need to come back and watch this 5 times. Have them look at it, great. But all the training will be right there for you guys.
Yeah, and it'll be a very straightforward video too. It's our aim with Infinii is that none of our videos should be longer than 5, maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so basically our upper limit of video length is 10 minutes. We don't like making videos longer than that. We do that on these Hangouts. We make these Hangouts long so we can answer everything. We can go through all the details. But videos themselves are going to be very to the point, very short, and very, very focused to get you moving quickly. So essentially, here's the process. For those of you who are interested in SpringBoard, now many of you may never need it. Many of you already have businesses. You're already selling on Amazon and eBay. You might not want the warehousing or need these products or bring your own products in. For those of you who don't need it, that's well and good. You can continue using e-commerce as you are. Or you can add this on and increase your income, increase your profit margins and all that stuff. Bring a little bit more automation to your process, to your e-commerce business. For others who have not been able to do it yet or have wanted to do it but have been kind of held back or are international and therefore have issues, you can now use this process to send your own products in or select products we've already researched for you and basically participate the same way as somebody over here. Now, the video will cover the details on this for you. It will show you how it works. I do want to clarify one very important thing because I have mentioned this before. You do not get any commissions for referring SpringBoard sales to others, okay? Because you're literally just buying product from a manufacturer, okay? We are not really a part of that process. So for if anybody's under the impression that you can refer users and tell them go spend $10,000 on Springboard and that will generate commissions, it will not. The commissions are only generated when the product is actually sold on Amazon or eBay or Google or wherever. When the product is actually sold, that's what generates the business volume, that's what generates your profits as a customer, and that's what you need to be focused on. So be very, very, be very prudent in your selection of products. Select products that you know will sell or will do well based on their data, instead of trying to just get as many products out there as possible. Okay, I mean that is also a strategy. There are people who use that strategy. Let me just get every product out there. But that's not the most prudent for those of us who are looking to be very lean and focus on generating very strong profits without having to spend a lot of money on it. Now, before you even do the Springboard, we want to make sure that you go through the eBay, Amazon, and Bonanza trainings so you can understand the process, you can understand what profit margins exist there, so you can understand how overall the system will play. Okay? So 9 a.m. Eastern in the morning, you will go to this page using the Springboard. You will find a video basically summarizing everything you saw tonight. You will find 3 links below it. You will find 3 PDF files. You will sign those PDF files, send those to us on a support desk. The instructions are actually going to be in the video itself. You will send those to us, and we will activate the Springboard on your account the moment you do so. Because then we know that you have signed these things. We know that you're not looking to leverage this for your own benefits in some way. We know there are people like that in this world who just behave like that. I don't think most of them would be attracted to something like Infinii, but either way, we have to be careful for our members' sake. Make sure that you sign those, send those in. We will activate Springboard for you, and then you will be able to see all the products. You'll be able to see all the abilities stuff. You can start sending in products right away if you want, and we will work with you to get your whole process sorted out. Okay, I think we did a really good job. We stayed right about 30 minutes in the whole process. Are there any questions that you can see, Kevin, on Facebook? You need to unmute yourself.
Let me take a look. Okay, this is this is a good question to answer actually. Once we purchase a product on Springboard, how long does it take for it to land at FBA and start selling?
Okay, so the products are all slightly different, and we actually show some of these details for all the products. There are certain products that we basically have our US-based manufacturer, or it is in US already. We've already negotiated with them, or we have the inventory. In some cases, we already have the inventory at our warehouse. We're able to send it in, and it takes less than 3 days. In other cases, it will take as much as a week. In very rare cases, it will take much longer than a week because the product is actually coming in from overseas and we're putting it up there. In all cases, you actually get kind of a timeline when you go to your reports section. So you will notice when you're in Springboard, you have a reports section. When you go to the reports page, it's going to show you the product that you have already purchased or the product that you're sending in and where it is in the process. So you can kind of track along with it and make sure that you know where you are.
Yep, awesome. So we have another question, and this is not related to Springboard, but it's something that I've seen a lot of. If we paid for Prime and want to upgrade right away to Surge or upgrade in a few days, will it be prorated?
Yes, it is prorated.
Yep. And for those of you,
yeah,
I mean basically that's it. It is prorated. Now also, for those of you who are on the network marketing side, the rewards plan, you're leveraging the rewards plan in Infinii. If somebody upgrades for the first time from Prime to Excel, meaning if they came in at Prime and then they upgrade to Excel, that fast start bonus that is in the rewards plan will be issued out to you. Okay, just want to clear that up.
The difference will be, so they'll lose nothing.
Yeah, they won't, and I think that's again, I mean, if someone would have came in at Excel, you would have made that fast start bonus as the referring member. So, in keeping with that line, if somebody upgrades to Excel for the first time, you will get that. So pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't matter to you, then the extra fast start will be sent to me.
That's right. Straight to John.
Yeah.
So here's another question. Are there limits to products through the Infinii warehouse? A limit of quantity? What are the limitations initially out the gate? Is pretty much the question.
Okay, so the limitations go like this. Well, remember, these are your own products. So if the question is, am I going to be competing against 100 other people on it? The answer is no, because your unique product is your unique product. So you will not be competing with others. At the same time, you, in some cases, will be bringing in products that you will be competing with others on, right? So when you have your product and the other people have the same product, and then it comes down to a question of pricing and the listing details, if you create a separate listing for it or not, and all of those things. Now, you can actually go over all of those things with a warehouse management staff when you actually have a product to send in. On the other hand, if your question is, what is the limitation on the products themselves? The limitation is 50 if you're Prime, 100 if you are Surge, and 200 if you're Excel. So you can send in up to 200 units of your own product. You can send that in, and we can take care of that for you if you're an Excel user. Does that clarify both of the things?
And Sheila, thanks. That was a great question, by the way. Pamela, this is a great question. She's asking how the products are selected. Are they ranked very well to sell? And I'll tell you what, we have so many products to choose from that the ones that make the cut are products that we deem that will do very well on SpringBoard. And not every product makes the cut, obviously. So just understand that when we're selecting these, we're selecting products that we believe will make the cut. Does that guarantee anything? No, it doesn't, right? But it is products that we believe will do very, very well, or else you wouldn't see them back there.
Yeah. Now, I do want to clarify a couple of things on that
Yeah.
situation as well. The products are selected both on a basis of what the existing statistics are on it,
Yes.
but there are also products selected based on what's seasonally happening or what's the trend going on. If a big movie is coming out, then you will also want to target that movie's related paraphernalia, right? Now you have a big Superman Batman movie coming out. You know there's going to be some interest in Superman Batman related stuff. There is a movie coming out, that Star Wars movie, there's going to be some interest in Star Wars thing. Christmas is coming up, there's going to be some interest in Christmas related decoration. You have Valentine's coming up, there's going to be a lot of different products designed to exploit men. So you will find a lot of different situations like this. I'm sorry. You'll find a lot of different situations like this. So we also select products based on the seasonality of what's about to happen, not just based on what the statistics are.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of what the statistics themselves are, we look for products that have decent reviews, decent ratings, are making sales at the moment. We do not go for products that are not actively selling already on Amazon. That's our criteria. So we are looking for products that are already selling. We don't work with products that are not already selling. So that's how we do it internally.
Beautiful. And I'll tell you what, anyone who's saying where are they getting these questions from, we're actually looking on the Facebook fan page. So you'll see a string of questions there. That's where we're grabbing them from. Curtis is asking about SpringBoard, and this is something I wanted to clear up because a lot of people were under the impression that SpringBoard was only valid for 90 days, and we want to quell that. It's not valid for just 90 days. It's not your first 90 days. The 90 days analogy, if you've got that in your mind, really came from us saying, look, your first 90 days of building your e-commerce business is the slowest time. It's the ramp-up phase, and we gave an example of Ken's account that had a ramp-up phase, right? So there's a ramp-up process whenever you're doing this stuff. This is real e-commerce business, and it takes a little bit of time to get things off the ground. Yes, we've had members come in here and just run and do phenomenal right out the gate. But we want to say within your first 90 days, you're still getting used to this stuff. You're still building your accounts. You're building your e-commerce business. You're starting to get all these initial phases are happening, and that's where the 90-day reference came from. SpringBoard can be used forever, but it's most beneficial, we believe, in your first 90 days in most of the forms that it exists. So I hope that makes sense.
And also, thanks very much for mentioning that, Kevin. One of the reasons, again, it's most beneficial for you for two things actually. The team at Infinii, it's really important to us that that we help you make a little bit of a paradigm shift as well. And you talk as network marketers. For those of you who are new to e-commerce, but you're not new to network marketing, you are certainly no stranger to the idea of building multiple streams of income. You hear it all the time. And with this massively growing trend that is global e-commerce, it really was important for us that you understand that we really want you to consider taking that on as an additional income source for yourself. And we're doing everything that we can to make that possible for you. So even if you're going to start sourcing products from different parts of the world and still ship them to us to take advantage of SpringBoard, that process is still going to take you a little bit of time to become comfortable with. So regardless of how you choose to pursue things, it'll be very important to us to help you in every way possible develop those multiple streams of income.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of other questions as well. Let me go through this quickly. So to be clear, if we purchase a product from SpringBoard and have it shipped to ourselves, we will not earn BB on this product because Infinii technically would not be able to confirm it as sold. Actually, when you go through the process of sending products to yourself, one of the things that you do is you connect your Amazon account to your Infinii account. So Infinii is able to track the sales of these products. Infinii is also able to track all the other sales that happen on your account. So when you're using additional software and additional automation within our system, we will be able to work that for you as well. So yeah, that's not a problem. We are able to track those things down. In Excel, you get 30 items per month. If you sell 20 in a month and 10 left, you get another 30. No, you're brought up to 30 each time. Okay, so you will have 30 available to you at most at a given point in time. Okay, what if the item sent to FBA has problems such as returned or damaged goods? Will we be charged for those? Yeah, basically that sale will be canceled. It works exactly as it would if you were doing it yourself. The sale just gets canceled in those cases. The money is refunded, so that will be deducted from the payment being sent. It's very common sense stuff. Nothing special about it, I guess. When we'll be able to see our PET and the income stats, that will be available after the 10th. Remember, we have not run any BV yet. The BV will be run on the 10th, and that's when you'll be able to see those things. And actually, income stats themselves will come after that because that will come after the first payout happens. Okay, so that will be the first Friday after the BV is run. If different sellers are buying the same product and having different prices for the same product, on whose account will those items be listed? If you're listing them on your own account, then it'll be managed by you. If it's being listed on our accounts, then we will rotate the users on there just like Amazon rotates their own buyers. So you'll be taken care of either way. Obviously, people who have the lowest price will sell out first, especially on prime listings. So we want to make sure that you understand that. That's why we give you a recommended price. That's why you can see what the minimum price is, and you should typically try to work with that price. And you should also not be trying to lower the price more than what it already is. If we have a product we source from overseas, can we send it directly to the Infinii warehouse? Yes, you can. That is actually exactly what the second version of SpringBoard is, which is you essentially get to leverage our warehousing and our staff who know what they're doing. You're able to purchase your products, source your products, and send it to our warehouse, and then we forward the product on to Amazon, and you work with our staff member to make sure that you have all the right parameters for the listing that you want to create for it, and for all of the different parameters that go for that. Okay, in the example in the download, I thought BV would be from the $60 for purchasing the product. No, because the $60 that in the example, the 5 laptop bags were purchased, they were not purchased from Infinii, and that money was actually for the manufacturer. So if we are paying 70% commissions on the $60, then we are giving the manufacturer only $13. So it's kind of not sensible. So that's why there is no commissions on the actual product that you purchase in SpringBoard. Do we need to open eBay and Amazon accounts? Once it is sold, where does the money go? So you want to open your own Amazon and eBay accounts if you can, because that's really the best way to build a long-term business. In the meantime, while you're ramping it up or you don't have your account for other reasons like being international, you are able to leverage our accounts and our warehouse. You can basically use those and work with that. This is something that we discussed a while back, about 3 months ago at our previous event. We described quite a bit of this. To be clear, you can't purchase and have them shipped to us for sale in our own stores. We can do that, but only if you are a licensed reseller of that same product within the Infinii marketplace. So if you believe that you are and you are able to do so, then you can actually send us a ticket and say, hey, I am actually approved for this. Here is the documentation proving it, and then we can work with you, just like you would if you were sending stuff into Amazon.
Also, Hitesh, now maybe this is overstating the obvious, but we know that there will be some members that are purely interested, because they're natural networkers, they're purely interested in participating in SpringBoard, participating in the marketplace, participating in digital marketplace, many of our future offerings, and not building a huge, robust e-commerce business for themselves. And it's important you understand that that's okay too. If that happens to be where you're sitting, that's all right too. Regardless, you're going to be participating in Infinii offerings, and if you want to do any of those things and market those things to build your business, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like when John chimes in, because it does, it's a simpler way to present something. What are the maximum number of products per level per month that a member can purchase? You can purchase 15, 30, or 60 if you are Prime, Surge, or Excel in that order. And you can send in your own products, 50, 100 to 200, depending on your level as well. So if you're Prime, you can buy 15, you can send in 50. If you're Surge, you can buy 30, you can send in 100. If you're Excel, you can buy 60, and you can send in 200. Okay, I'm going to refresh this because there are more questions. Okay, when will the tools be available? That's actually in our timeline that we published at the last Hangout, as well as in the details that we gave out in one of our PDFs. They all come on the 15th of January. There are some early ones that we made available, like the listing creator and stuff. Those will be available sooner than that.
And you'll actually be able to see in the next 24 hours, when you log right in on the main page, the first thing you're going to see, you'll have a list of those timelines. So that answer, because that question keeps coming up, so we'll have that on there on that homepage for you guys shortly. Also, one other thing, I've seen some questions about DS domination. Two separate things, guys. Two separate things. Okay, two separate things. Check your DS domination back office. Your pro training was up there from yesterday. So two separate stuff. We're going to have a webinar for that as well here very soon. Okay.
And we should also be noted that we do now. Obviously, we've got your PowerPoint and PDF. We've got your SpringBoard document in PDF. We also have our product detailed doc in PDF, and those will all be loaded into your back office as well. Hitesh, would you also, while you're answering questions, would you again just touch on the forums, because it's going to be such a significant part of the training, and also networking, members talking to members. Those forums are going to be huge.
Yeah. So one of the things that we are going to be releasing is internal Infinii forums. So in Infinii forums, you're able to go and have discussions with other members at different levels. It's moderated, it's well taken care of, so you can make sure there's not people spamming in there and whatnot. So not only can you actually have questions answered, but we also have a staff that answers questions for you. So we make sure that the best answer is always given. The most popular questions are stickied up there, so you can see, go at a glance and see all of the questions answered right there. That just makes life a lot easier. It makes it much easier for you to interact with the right people and ask the right questions. Everything is divided up very neatly on the type of questions that you're asking, regardless of your level. And that will really simplify your communication and conversation with other members, as well as your growth in the training itself. So if you have questions about training, you can actually go to the forums and get those answers directly from somebody who is doing it at the moment, who has all the knowledge, or who might be doing it with you at that very moment.
You'll also see opportunities as different markets around the world are opening up, where you can maybe do some networking, find out where meetings are taking. Oh, you're just going to share that. Please go ahead, Kevin.
No, I was just yesing because I was glad you were covering that. Just the fact that you'll be able to, if you're in different countries, there'll be so many options for you, especially on those forums. And I want to say this. You know, we have Facebook groups in DS, and the thing is with the forums, it's so much easier to make sure that people are getting relevant information. Because when you bring this to social media sometimes, and you put this on, let's say, a Facebook group, you tend to have a lot of people chiming in with half answers and half truths, and then everybody runs wild with that half truth. If you didn't hear it from us, try not to believe it. Okay? If it's in the forum and it's, you know, we have moderators in there, that's where you're going to find reliable information. The random Facebook group out there is not the reliable information. And so I would say that this will clear up a lot of that stuff once you guys are in those forums. And one more comment on the social media. If you see a string of people talking about Infinii and you inject yourself into that conversation and say, come join me, you're spamming that wall. Stop it. Okay, we're going to have a problem with that very soon. Be very careful what you do on social media because it reverberates throughout the company. All right, so that's all I'm going to say on that. If you see a bunch of people talking about it and you're posting on a random on our Facebook page, saying, come join me, here's my link, come get it, and things of like that nature, you're going to be hearing from us, and in a bad light. We don't want to have that conversation, so please stop that stuff. Okay? Because I've seen that on this call.
I'll add one more thing to that really quickly. For those of you that are listening and you think that we're maybe being a bit too detailed or a little bit harsh on you, it's important that you understand you know, that as a corporate team, we know where this is going. We know that the global home-based business industry has been absolutely plagued by money games that are masquerading as Bitcoin projects, or masquerading as Forex legitimate, or masquerading as an e-commerce platform. And so it's sometimes very difficult to separate facts from the truth. And as the marketplace, the consumer base, all those individuals that are looking for a real business to attach themselves to, perhaps a final business to attach themselves to, when they start to realize what's being constructed here, and it's being constructed to follow the laws of the land, and it's being built to last, you better believe we're going to grow very, very quickly, and we're going to have a lot of spotlights on us. So we're making sure that we prepare for those things right now from the very beginning.
Definitely, and the actions of a few could jeopardize the actions of many, right? So we want to make sure that everyone understands that we are here to protect our members and protect what we have here with Infinii. So just when you're posting out there on social media, keep in mind if you have a fan page or you have something like that going on, and it looks like John said a couple hangouts ago, and I think he said this 2 or 3 times now, if it looks like you're the company, if your YouTube channel says Infinii all over it, and it looks like you're the company, then you're going to be hearing from us. So get rid of that stuff now. Just clean it up before we have to contact you.
It's worse than that. It's even worse than that. You're going to be hearing from Tracy.
Yeah. Very true.
The last thing that I wanted to share really quickly, we're preparing for billion-dollar growth. We are preparing for this. We are also preparing for many of our members to be in the top 200, the top 100, the top 50, and the top 10 income earners around the world. We're preparing for this. We're taking it seriously so that you know when you build those businesses using an incredible product offering that has appeal everywhere in the world, not just in the United States or in Europe, everywhere this is appealing, and that you build those incomes and they're going to last for you.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I just want to make one more point regarding that. Slightly different point, but kind of on the same lines. One of the reasons why we are so specific and why we share statistics and why we share these numbers over and over is if I was speaking to a group of established Amazon and eBay sellers, I wouldn't have to do any of that because they would immediately get what I'm talking about. When I'm talking to a large group of people, of which 70% have never sold on Amazon or eBay, where e-commerce is very new to them, when I'm explaining this to them, they might not even understand the very basics of what's actually happening. So we have to really break it down to very, very basic levels and make sure that everybody's able to follow along. So it's not because, oh, why are these guys sharing that information again? Well, that's what 90% of our user base needs to hear over and over, so that they're all on the same page, so that nobody's saying things that are misrepresentative or can become dangerous down the road in the way that they say things. So that's why we repeat that over and over. It should be something that you take a cue from. If you're a partner and you want to be presenting this to others, make sure that you're very clear about what is actually happening behind the scenes as well, instead of just presenting on the front how great it is.
Yep, and I'll tell you, I get a lot of questions on international stuff, and when international stuff is rolling out. And I'll tell you when it's rolling out. It's rolling out when we do it the right way. That's pretty much the bottom line. So as we will roll out different languages and things of that nature, and presentations and all that stuff. But it's got to be at the speed of correct. It's got to be at the speed of right. Not at the speed we necessarily want it to be, because if it was up to, if personally Kevin talking, we would have every single language back there tomorrow, but that would open up different markets in the wrong way. So we have to be very careful when we do that, and that's to protect you and protect the entire customer user base, our whole family here with Infinii. So it'll be rolled out and will be put out when it's the right time to do it. So.
And most people don't realize, but Kevin speaks 64 languages, so he would have it in there.
I do speak 64 languages, none of them good, and my grammar's horrible in all of them, so yeah.
Yeah, and his vocabulary is limited, but he does a good job with the accompanying gestures and hand movements.
Yeah.
All right, so the question was about, well, Amazon doesn't make us become resellers, licensed resellers, why does your system do so? Well, Amazon would make you do that for the type of products that SpringBoard selects. The type of products that we are working with are not private label products. When you go and look up how to use FBA or how to sell on Amazon, even the Excel training, the training is really more about getting your products and manufacturing them and bringing them in and putting them on Amazon. Now, that is your own product. In many cases, you're doing it yourself and you're doing it on a new listing. The products that SpringBoard selects are products that are currently selling. They're brand name products. They're not private label versions of brand name products. So we have to be a lot more careful about it, and to get it from the vendor, we have to be licensed. So it's because of the manufacturer that we have to make sure we're licensed resellers, and we cannot release the product inventory to somebody who is not a licensed reseller at the reseller prices. So that's the reasoning behind that. Hopefully that clears it up. Do you provide training on how to sell stuff on that? Yes, it's in Excel. And there's a version of it which is called Pay to Shop, which is going to local stores and purchasing products to sell on Amazon and so on. And those are also available in your Prime membership.
And I'll say this too, because this training started out as just SpringBoard, and it's spiraled into us answering questions. So, which is great, which is what we need to do. So I will say this: if you ever see us do a hangout or a training, expect that some kind of Q&A is going to follow that. Because these are where, again, like Hitesh addressed earlier, this is where we go ahead and dig into stuff. So, get on these trainings. If we ever do a training, even if it doesn't really apply to you, hop on, because you might have a question that you ask, like a lot of our members are doing right now, and we get a chance to answer it, okay?
And listen, it's another great example of how powerful those forums are going to be for you, because at any minute of the day, if you have a question, you first of all check and see if there's a thread already started along those lines. If there isn't, you start one, and you'll have the field all over the world to help you, and you're going to have experts to help you.
Yeah. In the last webinar, it was stated that we could purchase more items for a $2 fee. Is that accurate? Yes, that is accurate. That's actually what this message up here means when it says you have 60 products available. That's why it says it that way. Basically, you have 60 products available for free. That is already included in your subscription. For additional products, you pay $2 to get access to those. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't go into all the details, but I'll just summarize it very quickly. Understand the business model behind this. The business model that we are using is very similar to the business model that Amazon itself uses and many other companies like it. So we have a version built into our system, which is a transactional system, right? You find the product, you pay for the product, you send it in just for the management part of it, and then the product is forwarded on to Amazon. And we collect a very small amount of money on that. Then we have a piece which is our memberships, which is our Prime Search Excel memberships, and then down the road our store system and our Infinii Digital, Infinii Projects, Infinii People, a lot of different pieces that are going to be unveiled over the entire 2016. You're going to see a lot of that stuff as well. Now, we expect that we're going to make, as a business, as a company, and as all of our partners, we're going to generate a lot of our income actually in those marketplaces, in those digital marketplaces, and in the freelancing board, because that combined is a nearly $1 trillion industry compared to selling products on Amazon, eBay. All of Amazon, eBay, and Google Shopping Network combined is still only just a $200 billion industry. Okay, it's nice and big, but it is not that massive. But the bigger concern is your profit margins on physical goods are smaller than profit margins on digital services and goods. So that is eventually where you will see much bigger money when you come from. Right now, SpringBoard and e-commerce selling is very critical because it's going to allow our user base to move into profits very quickly. Okay, so it's almost a loss leader for us because we are not looking to make money off of that. We are looking to use that as a system that allows all of these different pieces to grow, just like Amazon does. Amazon doesn't make any money on their physical product side. They make all of their money on the cloud services and digital services they provide. They actually make billions on that in profit. They make nothing on their physical products, even though that's the majority of their business. So you have to understand these business concepts behind the scene and where we're going with it, why we have the vision that we do. It is all very detailed and very designed as a business plan where we can expand, where we can grow. But we need the right user base to make it happen. We need the right infrastructure to make it happen. So that's what's happening right now, and you will see a lot more rolling out over time. So to summarize, we are not making money from the SpringBoard. That's not our big, let's do this, it's going to make us so much money. This is purely a service for our members, purely designed to make it simpler for them to participate in e-commerce so they can begin to see the possibilities, and then they can open up into many of these other marketplaces that Infinii is going to start releasing starting in January of 2016. You're going to start coming to many of these other marketplaces as well.
Hey, Tesh, I'd
So
just like to
maybe a little bit
add a comment, if you don't mind.
Yes.
And again, for our traditional network marketers out there, or for a lot of our affiliate marketers that are going to be new to network marketing, one of the biggest fears, and I talked about this just for a minute at our last conference, we talked about the appearance of saturation, the appearance of a diminished opportunity. Experienced leaders understand that if I was recommending, let's say, Bob's supplements, Bob's brand supplements is what I sold, it's not so much a question of eventually everyone in the neighborhood is going to be using Bob's brand supplements, because that's just not a reality. Yeah. Experienced leaders, what they are concerned with is how many people in my demographic have heard of Bob's brand supplements. Because when I mention Bob's brand to them, they go, oh, I've already heard of that. And what happens, there's a human psychology that says, if I've already heard of something, that must mean that the opportunity has been diminished. So with Infinii evolving and continuing to bring more and more offerings to you, you're never going to have to worry about that. So you're going to have individuals get involved with us 5 years from now that have just as good as, or perhaps even a better opportunity than where you're sitting with right now. So this is going to be a very, very good place for you to grow into in the long term.
Here, you know what? I'm going to do something really quick. Hopefully people can see this. This should help understand this whole process. So let me know when you can see my screen.
We can.
Okay, wonderful. So what I'm going to do here is I have 4 different circles, and these 4 different circles, hold that, represent 4 major markets out there. Okay. Now, here is the home business industry, and this represents right about $90 billion in revenue. Okay. Now, this home business industry that represents $90 billion in revenue, this is where most companies are. Okay, so the circles are the market out there. Okay, the economy for it, and the rectangle is a company. Okay, so most companies are within the home business industry. They're trying to take over maybe 5%. They're like, if we can just get 5% of this industry, that would be awesome. And it would be, right? I mean, they would be a multi-million-dollar company, a multi-million-dollar company. That would be great for them. Okay, awesome. Here's how Infinii operates, though. It's a totally different principle, because what we know is that if you only operate within this sphere right here, within this circle, you will come across saturation very quickly, but you will also very massively restrict what the average customer in here can do. In a company like this, all the customer can do is go out and recruit others, which some people are very good at, and most people are not very good at. So you see a lot of attrition, you see a lot of problems. So Infinii starts out like this. Infinii says, listen, our aim is not to be the biggest kid in this pond. Our aim is to be a decent sized operator in all of these pies to some extent. Okay, so this is the market that we're actually trying to take over. All right, so by the way, interestingly enough, if you connect these, it kind of becomes our logo. I just noticed that. So you have e-commerce here, which represents, between the platform that we are covering, represents roughly $250 billion in sales, in gross sales on the platforms that we are talking about. You have digital products that cover another $80 billion or so in sales, and then you have the freelancing world through Infinii Local and Infinii Projects/People, and you cover roughly about $700 billion over there. In fact, the latest estimate from 2014 was that about $700 billion of the US economy is actually based on online service provision, which is through freelancing in many ways. Okay, so our idea is this. Now let's break down the profit margin on each of these industries. On the e-commerce side, the profit margin average out at 17% to 20%. Okay, that's the average of your e-commerce profit margin on the physical products. Now, there are a lot of people making 17 to 20%, but they're all individually making around 17 to 20%. You have the home business industry, where you have the average profit margin for a company operating here. Okay, I'm talking about a company that's in this. The company has a profit margin of roughly 41%. Okay, that's why you see so many companies being created, because it's very good for the companies if they pull it off right. Okay, most companies do not lose money unless they have bad management or they just do things the wrong way. Then you have digital products. Digital products have an estimated profit margin of 84%. And finally, you have the freelancing industry, where the profit margin is right about 44 point something. I'm going to say 45% roughly. And this kind of varies as well. But that's in general what it is. Now, very quickly, you should be able to look at these statistics. And as very intelligent people, you should be able to tell immediately what are the most profitable things for you as a person to be in. Clearly, this is a huge, huge industry, and there is a very significant profit margin. This is not as big, but it's very, very big still, and it has a very high profit margin. This is a pretty decent sized pie. It's very easy to get into, but the profit margin isn't the biggest, but it is still easy to get into. And then you have the home business industry, where the pie is decent sized. The profit margin for you can also be very decent, but the success rate is relatively low. Okay, so if we arrange these by success rates, okay, I would say this is relatively easy. This is kind of easy. Okay, I'm going to put that around it because there are some technical skills that people usually need here. And then you have the freelancing industry, where you have a skill set that you need. So I would not say it's necessarily easy. I'll put it at mid-tier. Okay, and home business I would put it at the same category. Now, obviously, running restaurants or running a local business, that is a much, much, much bigger industry. But that's very difficult to get into, right? You have a lot of investment involved and so on. So that's not a very wise decision for the average person. So now you kind of have a guide map on what you should be focusing on, what you should be doing. So what Infinii is doing is saying, all right, we're going to start off with the easy e-commerce. Let's get people into e-commerce and let's make it easier for them. That's where SpringBoard fits in. That's where listing on Amazon and eBay fits in. That's what we are starting out with. Okay, so that's the first part of the puzzle. Then we say, let's move on to the next easy thing, which is a digital marketplace, and we're going to create something called Infinii Digital. One of our products on there, very first one, is actually going to be DS domination, company that has already done multiple 8 figures. We know how great it is. We know how well it is done for people. So that's going to be on there. All of you who are in Infinii will have the ability to create products, to create digital systems, and put them on the platform. And remember when I said one of the issues is the technical skills you need and payment processing you need and all of those things? You won't need those anymore. So you don't need the payment processing. You don't need any of that stuff along the way, because the Infinii Digital Platform takes care of that, and that makes it easier for you. Okay, and that's basically how Infinii grows. Okay, and how we move into other marketplaces, and you move into other marketplaces, and saturation is no longer an issue, because you could be failing in e-commerce but do really well on digital, or not doing well in digital and doing well in e-commerce. Meanwhile, you have freelancing over here, and freelancing allows you to really hone in on your specific skill set, especially if you're international, if you're in the Philippines, if you're in India, you're wherever in the world. That makes it very easy for you to come in and directly work with us. To that length, one of the things we are doing is actually releasing on the 15th of December, we are releasing our e-commerce certification program. And the e-commerce certification program will let you take an exam, become an e-commerce Infinii certified e-commerce member, and you will now be able to advertise that on the Infinii's freelancing platform. So our members who are looking to outsource their e-commerce businesses can go to you and say, all right, I need you to manage my customer support, I need you to manage my listings, and so on and so forth. So for international users who are short on money but have plenty of time and are looking to use their skill set, this is going to be a massive, massive, massive thing for them. And then finally, you have your home business side, which is what our partners program does. And our partners program is really trying to reverse the situation here. We pay out more than any other company. We've made it easier to be paid out than any other company, and we completely changed the landscape in what you are actually offering. You're not offering everybody to join in and everybody trying to recruit together. You're creating an actual ecosystem where a member can come in and they can participate in any of these big pies out there and decide what they want to do. Now, there are other pies in this process that I'm not going to go into the details of. There are 3 other very large pies. Actually, 2 of them are bigger than any of the ones you see on here that we are also working with, that we are working towards, and we'll expose those sometime in 2016, and it'll be awesome when we do. But hopefully you begin to understand what's happening here. And this is my super cheesy thing that I just thought of while doing this. And if you just put this in the middle, now you have Infinii with Infinii. I'm sorry, I come up with the dumbest things.
That is indeed.
But yes, but anyways, this is the whole idea behind where we are headed. So the question of saturation should not come up whatsoever, because saturation is only applicable when you're in a small market, in a small industry, in a small local area. We are talking about a global presence in the whole industry, in every marketplace that exists. And that is why we are Infinii. That is why we are not the best MLM company, why we're not the best digital company, why we're not the best e-commerce company. We are a company that exists in all of these different spheres. And you begin to see that when you start studying the biggest companies out there, Amazon, eBay, SpaceX, all of these companies, what is common amongst them? They all are participating in many different things at the same time. They have one central focus, and that's what they begin as. Amazon started as a bookseller, and not a very good one, honestly. And now they are what they are, a totally different company. Google started out as a search engine, and now a totally different company in many ways. That's still their core product, but that's not their core business model where they make the money from. You have Facebook that started out as something quite useless and has become what it has become. And now they're into all sorts. So they're getting into virtual reality and data mining and whatnot. So you have to keep that kind of a mindset. Being the best company with the best weight loss product is great, and you have a nice little marketplace, but it's not good for the end user in the long run, because the end user will hit saturation and they will hit some limits. And with this, you don't. With this, you don't have a restriction. Sell weight loss products if you want, sell weight gain products if you want, completely free and open for you. Teach how to lose weight, teach how to gain weight in digital side, completely open for you. Work as a personal coach online with freelancing part if you want to, and sell that information as a partner. The BB is being generated through all of these things. This is generating BB, this is generating BB, so is this. And I'm going to clean this up quick because I know there are people who take a screenshot and say, this is how they should explain stuff. But this is essentially the idea behind Infinii, and hopefully it clears up a lot of the thoughts in your mind, questions of saturation, questions of how quickly can we move into other things, and what is our primary focus and primary aim. And this is why, I'll just answer this right away too, this is why DSD is never going away, because DSD is a small company within this space that focuses just on e-commerce, and it's a digital company. It's a digital product company that focuses just on e-commerce, and it'll exist on the Infinii digital platform, and that's what we'll be doing. So imagine that Infinii is the massive ecosystem. Infinii is the alphabet, where DSD is the Google. Okay, it's kind of like that. So I hope it is clear. I hope this helps. Maybe we should turn this into some kind of training at some point, but this is essentially where we are headed. So for those of you who are network marketers in here with big teams and you're looking to establish a home, hopefully this helps settle your nerves a little bit and makes you realize, oh, this is why it's a home, because it's more than just a home, it's my little mansion.
Some very, very big pieces, Hitesh, that are not part of this drawing, and they're not far away either.
Oh, absolutely. Quite honestly, if I was to make something to scale, we have one particular circle that is about that big compared to these others, actually maybe a little bit bigger.
And it's a circle that you're going to have a very, very easy time sharing with customers, and customers are anybody that you know, and they're going to find this orange circle very interesting themselves.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go back to the Q&A though, because I think this was a little bit of a rabbit trail, but I hope this addressed a lot of the side questions and a lot of the questions in people's minds about where are we going, what is going on here. I think it's good to define this vision. Keep in mind, we're just 5 days into opening up. Maybe we're 5 days out of the invite phase. So keep in mind, we have this vision from the beginning. We're not like just going out there and trying our hand at everything and hoping something works. We have a very, very defined vision for this, very defined team for this, and we're working towards it to try and make it a reality very quickly.
So we've got 20 after. We've got an hour and 20 minutes. Why don't we see if we can find 10 more minutes of questions and wrap it up after 90 minutes?
Absolutely. So just going through the questions quick to see. Okay, let's see. What is the country list in which Infinii is available? I think Jason addressed this earlier. As a customer, you can come in and start using the product. As a partner, we have some restrictions on which companies we are in because there is a legal process before we can do that. And we will be releasing some details on that here soon. We are in a lot of the countries already, most of the countries already, but the ones that we're not in, we're going through a legal process to make sure that we are there in a big way. Okay. What are the payment process for withdrawals? You will be able to get your withdrawals out using GPG, which will take care of all of this stuff for you. It will transfer money to your bank account in many cases. It can also transfer money to your existing cards. You can also use your funds to actually pay for your fees. So you have a lot of different options there, but we've used GPG for a year and a half. It's awesome, and we've never had a problem with them. I heard somebody reference that you could make 500% profit with Excel level. How did this come about? Well, so this is from Norman, and Norman, you've been in DST, so you already know the process. You know that there are products on which you can get up to 500% profit margin. You get the product for 50 cents and you sell it for $12. It's more than 500% profit in those cases. So that is very possible. However, we want to keep our expectations very managed, right? So one of the concerns we had is the second some people saw it, keep in mind, like what I said, if I said to a group of Amazon sellers, hey, here's a product with 500% profit margin, they get it, right? They've been doing it, so they know it. When somebody else who has never done this sees that, they instantly go, oh, I can put money in and get 500% returns, which is totally not what SpringBoard is, what e-commerce is. All of you guys know that very well. We've been very clear about it. As a company, we've always been clear about what it is. So we just want to clear up that language a little bit more. We want to make sure that people did not get a false impression of it. And that's why we did that. I love this comment. Tear down those Facebook walls. It is ridiculous. Some of the stuff that I've seen on Facebook, it is just ridiculous. People who are just trying to let the fact. Look, right now, Infinii is one of the hottest trending terms on Google as a whole. It's one of the hottest trending terms overall. Obviously, there will be people trying to leverage off of us to try and sell their coaching or sell whatever they have. Many of these people have been very unsuccessful before. They only have a voice because they have been given a voice by leveraging us for a very long time. And it's ridiculous, some of these people. I really don't get it, because you start looking at their history, you start looking at what their actual business experience has been, and you're like, why do you have a voice? That's one of the things that really I struggle with on Facebook.
Yeah, I got a comment on this, very small comment. Just be careful. When you see somebody talking about network marketing and I'm going to report on it and things of that nature, when they failed in their network marketing companies and have a questionable legal background, you might just want to ignore it. Just letting you know. So,
yeah,
thought I'd toss that out there.
And even if it's just for the reason of managing your life, and the fact that there's a lot of fun things to be doing in the world, and reading a lot of that stuff isn't one of them.
Yeah, and the question of should I bring them to Prime level who has no experience in eBay and Amazon? Absolutely, that's why Prime level has training on eBay and Amazon. Springboards exist as an additional thing to simplify the process. Look, if I gave you training on Amazon, that's great for you because you can actually go there and create an account and start using it. But if I give the same training to somebody in Philippines or India or wherever, or Australia, they can't just go and do the exact same thing that you're going to do. So it's very easy for you to do it, but it's not easy for somebody international to do it. So springboards are there to make the process easier and make the process work for those people as well. Absolutely, somebody who needs the training, who wants to understand how to sell on eBay and Amazon, they should begin the training in Infinii. They should be going to product and right here. And they have eBay training that goes over how to create the eBay account and find items and list items and process sales and everything else. They have the whole process on how to sell on Amazon, how to create their account, how to go profit shopping and so on, how they can sell on Bonanza and other e-commerce platforms. That's why that training exists, because we hope that most people will use this training and they will develop their own businesses. But many people, it's not a matter of whether they're go-getters or not. There are some people who can work their tail off and they won't be able to replicate your success because they cannot create these accounts. They cannot work the same way. They have other restrictions. So this is designed to really help alleviate those issues for them. That's why Springboard exists as the great equalizer kind of overall. So have them start in the training always. Like I said at the beginning of this training session, start with the training here. Make sure you understand everything, and then move on to Springboard and so on.
So we've just got 5 minutes left. I thought if we could just take 90 seconds of that, and would you just share a couple of details in regards to the December 10th date CST that's coming up, and if somebody all of a sudden over the next month, this month of December, started to see an aggressively growing team, like I know that almost everyone listening to this is already having happen to them. If you started at Prime, for example, you will have, as you watch your volume accrue, you want to make sure when you see the control doc in the PowerPoint that you don't cost yourself. So if you choose to upgrade as Surge, you will have up until the end of December, is that correct, Hitesh, to make sure that you then qualify as a Prime, or rather as a Surge or an Excel member, so that you are best situated to maximize the rewards plan.
Yes, so let me first clarify the 10th. So many of you have, I say many, but a very, very large number, okay, a bigger number than most companies will get in the entire year, started out like the day one. Okay, so day one we started out with bigger numbers than most companies will ever hit in their entire lifetime. So there's all of these people in here, and one of the key factors is how do we make it fair, right? How do we give you guys enough time to make sure that you're able to capitalize on the volume being generated by your members, by your team members in your binary and in your PET. So we are basically going to run all the BV that has been collected so far will be run at the same time on the 10th of December. So you all have until the 10th of December to make sure that you have activated as a partner. If you are interested in that, there is no pressure at all. If you don't want to become a partner, you're just focused on e-commerce, that is absolutely fine. Okay? But if you do want to capitalize on that and you do want to participate in the rewards plan, then make sure that you have become a partner before the 10th of December. Okay? We will run all the volume at that time, and then you will be paid out on that volume for the first time on the 17th. Okay, because we run that every week. From then on, every week, every Friday, you will get paid in your binary and you will get paid on your PET. On the other hand, every month, on the first of each month, we calculate and tell you what your new rank in the company is, in the rewards plan is. So that happens on the first of every month. So as long as all of your volume is in and all of your own levels are in before the first of each month, then you'll be able to capitalize on that as well. Does that clarify? I hope that was very clear.
Touch on one more very generous thing that's being done, and that is that binary caps are not being imposed on the field to begin with, because obviously as a manager, my earning cap is $260 per week. Maybe you should just touch on that as well.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? You cut out for
No
me
trouble.
a little
So
bit?
obviously there are binary caps, weekly binary caps in place that aren't being enforced on the field as a new launch, and that's obviously extraordinarily generous of the company to really help them springboard their business in, no pun intended, springboard their business forward in their first month of operation. Can you just touch on that as well? No rank restrictions in place. They'll be able to earn based on volume they're generating?
Yeah, so the first month right now, since there are no ranks that exist, we'll actually be calculating your volume and paying you commissions just based straight up on the volume without the rank issues in there. Now, after the first, and it's not the 1st of January for that, it's actually the 17th when we have finished our first run. John, for the question you're asking, after the 17th, we actually will be able to calculate ranks a little bit. The first time that you will actually see ranks come in will be on the 1st, right? Because that's the first time you will actually receive your ranks, the 1st of January. So your 2016 will begin with your new rank in the rewards plan and with your new level in the rewards plan you'll be able to earn from that moment on. Okay, so until then there are no restrictions on the cap. There are no caps on your payouts from binary and PET because those caps are enforced by your rank. And since in the first month there is no rank, there is none of those cap restrictions at all. That basically means that you're making more money.
This is an absolutely huge advantage for the field. We're going to have so many members hit the ground very aggressively and have some truly remarkable rewards coming to them. Now, maybe just to wrap up, since it is 7:30 now, if you want to give the field just an approximation as to when they will start to see their replicated sites. And consider basically just full steam ahead for them.
Yep, absolutely. So your replicated links will be available because we have our entire sales funnel. We are going through it right now with compliance departments and everything else. Just like Kevin said, we do things at the speed of correct. We are currently in that process. As soon as that is cleared, we will make those replicated sites available. The system is actually in place right now, but we will not be able to. We are not going to be making that live until we've had our compliance completely look over all of those. Right now, we are stating that we're going to do that on the 10th because that's the safest estimate that we have. On 10th, when we run everybody's BB calculations, alongside of that, we can open up the replicated sites for everybody, and you guys will have the traditional affiliate links. Until then, you actually do have the ability to still invite people and have them upgrade. That still counts as an affiliate sale for you. So you don't have to worry about, am I going to lose something out because I don't have an affiliate link? You can still use the invitation system. Keep in mind, this is the invitation system that generated nearly 25,000 people in a matter of 3 days. So it's not like it's not going to work for you. You can still use that. You can still put people in from that and let them pay in the standard manner that we're doing right now. And then the affiliate links for all of your presentations will be available on the 10th, right after we're done. Now, with the BB calculations. The other thing is, we are also doing this to be very careful. It's not just our own compliance, making sure that our own sales funnels are good. We're also, like Kevin said, we're looking at all the other sales funnels that are being submitted to us for approval. We're looking at all of those right now as well. So if you do have a big sales funnel and with your team that you're going to be going out with and promoting with, and you're not going to be using the corporate resources, then we need to approve that. We need to see that beforehand. So please make sure that you submit that to us through our support staff as well. And,
Kevin, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Kevin, as sad as it is, our 90 minutes has come. Is there anything that you wanted to share before we wrap up?
I do, real quick. So, since I want to just say thank you for everyone for being here. I can't believe how many people are still on this Hangout right now. Do me a favor, in that thread that we have going over on Facebook, I'm going to post something that says the Hangout is now over. Thank you for attending and participating. Hashtag Infinii. Just go hashtag Infinii for me underneath of that. That way we get some separation between that thread and the questions, or else for the next 3 days, more questions will pop in there. So I just tossed that on there. The Hangout is now over. Thank you for attending and participating. And hop on that thread. Hashtag Infinii for me. Just put hashtag Infinii. And yeah, we're good.
Yes.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. I'm just going to address this one time very quickly because I think we did address it, but I want to make sure that this is addressed for sure. I have 3 questions in here from people asking, why do you remove the word seats? Okay, so I just want to answer this head on. Like I just explained, when we talk with people, when we originally presented the SpringBoard concept, we presented it to our members who are all e-commerce sellers. When we explained it to them, it was very easy. Everybody got it. Okay, it was straightforward. Basically, seats refers to a collection of products. That's what it was. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who have never sold in the e-commerce world and yet have an internet presence and yet have the ability to make kind of horrid comments without ever doing any research, basically took that and said, oh, look at this. They're basically saying you are buying seats and you are getting money, which is completely absurd. I think everybody has known from day one that what the intention was, what SpringBoard does. It's a service that automates your warehousing, automates sending the products into Amazon so that you can start generating your sales using the FBA program. Based on that, we changed the verbiage to make it very transparent and clear that you're actually purchasing units of products, you're purchasing actual product, and the product is actually going on Amazon, that we are not going to magically sell the product to our neighbors, but it's actually going on Amazon, it's selling on Amazon, or it's selling on eBay and other places, and all of that process just needs to be clear. That's why we changed that word. It has not changed in its nature, it has not changed in the spirit of what it was. It is exactly the same process, exactly the same system. We've just made it a lot more transparent sounding, just so that brand new people who have never heard about this concept before, when they come in, they understand that this is e-commerce, they're purchasing products and selling them on e-commerce platforms at a margin.
Yep.
Okay, so I hope that makes it clear, and I hope you can shift in your mind. I personally think that the idea you're purchasing units, you're purchasing products and listing them on Amazon sounds a lot easier and a lot cleaner than you're purchasing seats. That's my thought on it at this point as well, but I hope that this is very, very clear to you.
And for those of you, by the way, for those of you who maybe are having a bit of a tendency to be hypercritical, and that's not a criticism, not at all. This is new to you, and you're just finding your way as well. Just keep in mind that the gentlemen that are running the show here, they have created an entity over the last couple of years that has had a field that's moved more than $2 billion worth of goods and services. This is, if that doesn't say this is a real business, I don't know what does. And so I think they're doing an absolutely remarkable job of taking what is, well, for a lot of new people, very complex science and creating a product that is, well, I don't know if this is politically correct or not, idiot-proof, for lack of a better terminology. This is going to be something that's very easy for you to get your hands on, not having to create an account if you do not want to create an account, still participating in this in multiple ways and being able to profit from this, all the while being able to share a product or a service that you're engaged in that's making you money instead of spending $100 or $200 a month on a product that you may not even like, all to build a business.
Come in.
We're about to hang it up, okay?
Anyway, with that, I think that we probably we're ready to wrap things up. Is that correct, Hitesh?
Yes, that is correct. I think we're ready to wrap up. I think Kevin is too. Um, I think let's wish everybody a great good night. Kevin is sitting down and he has a button-down shirt on today instead of his usual tank top. So it's awesome.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
So,
and John,
all
thanks
of you have a great evening.
I've got lunch waiting for me for the last 35 minutes, so appreciate you.
Enjoy. Right. Thank you, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Yep. All right. Good night, everyone.